Welcome to Santa Cruz Island. This is Puerto Ayora. We have three main activities here, tourism being the most important one, also fishing and farming, but all fishermen and also farmers, they in one way or another related to tourism since they sell their products to the tourism industry. Fish market is very much like a party. You have sea lions, frigatebirds, pelicans, all waiting to get the scraps as the fishermen clean up the fish in order to sell them.
Well, it was so fun walking by the fish market and seeing the women there cutting the fish, and at the same time, several pelicanos waiting for a little bite from them.
Definitely unique. Again, I go to a fish market in Pennsylvania, there's no animals in it that are alive.
Today we are on Santa Cruz Island in the town of Puerto Ayora, and we're outside the fish market. It's a wonderful place of activity in this town where the locals come to sell and buy fish for their homes and restaurants.
Oh, this is the most fantastic place for photography. There's always plenty of action. I'm very impressed with the wildlife in the urban environment. I'm also impressed with the friendliness of the people here. They've given us a very good reception and we've had a great time.
I've got a wide-angle lens, so I'm getting the lobster here and Manuel. I think the important thing when you're photographing people in a different country is connection. I actually think that's the key to photographing people anywhere you are. So as I'm interacting with the subject, I am sketching with my camera. And obviously, we're interested in who they are because we are here. Photographing the people that live in the place where you travel is a wonderful way to add to your collections of photographs and to their experience of people traveling to their homes.
Today is one of the most special days in our expedition. Today, in addition to enjoy the beautiful landscapes and also the company of the amazing Galapagos giant tortoises, we have the wonderful chance to be in a local community in Galapagos. We will learn and we will see firsthand how people live on the islands. Then, as an option, we can go to the Tomás de Berlanga School. This is the most advanced school in town and is the island that we support through our fund. We believe that the future leaders for conservation are being trained here. The school is in a beautiful setting up in the highlands. The education is given in a very different way. That's why we support this school.
There are a lot of other differences, like they have an outdoor classroom and we don't. They have uniforms, we don't. They have an outdoor cafeteria, we don't.
Their two goals, as stated to us, were to appreciate the Galapagos, to be able to conserve, and also to be educated to return and serve the Galapagos. And they move around. I love the environment. It's very natural. I wish some of our schools could be done in that manner also.
Great, friends. So how do you like it so far, huh? Well, right now we are in the town of Puerto Ayora here in the Galapagos, and as a surprise for our guests, we have live music from our local band. They're playing just local Ecuadorian kind of Galapagos style music. So this is a great surprise for our guests that had them dinner and suddenly they hear this music. We also have another surprise. We have the ladies with the beautiful local dresses just displaying up here.
We are visiting today Puerto Egas. Here in Santiago Island we can find this amazing place full of life. This afternoon walk let us be in contact with nature once again. Next to sea lions, a lot of herons and seabirds around the area. We saw a really nice interaction between a small family of oyster catchers. Mom and Dad were next to their little chicks, and they were ready to fly. Here in Puerto Egas, also we are looking for our second species of sea lion in the Galapagos, the Galapagos fur seal. Those are quite little different than the normal Galapagos sea lion. They have pointy noses, longer whiskers, bigger eyes, and their fur look thicker. So fur seals also are in harems. The male looks bigger, also have a thicker neck and is the biggest size of the harem. Females are just resting around him.
This afternoon was amazing. I got the little yellow birds, red crabs, seals, 3 different birds were all so close to each other, and I was thinking it just doesn't happen anywhere else. Animals are frightened or they're hunted or they don't go near people, and it was just amazing to be on this island and see all these species and the birds, and they're beautiful and they're so close. They're so close and they're so unafraid. It's very special.
Okay, welcome to Santiago Island. In terms of conservation, it's a very nice story here because we used to have goats here. And as you know, they are very invasive because there is a species of tortoise here. Now, goats feed on the same food than tortoises, so they start competing, but they start actually eating much at a higher rate than the tortoises because they move faster. And the Galapagos National Park started this really nice project for eradication of goats. And thanks to that, we have the population of a tortoise that is unique in the world back in the wild. So that is a very nice example of a very successful eradication project that we have here in Galapagos.
This is just breathtaking, and this is feel like, you know, there's some big steps in the human discovery, and to be here and to see this so well protected, it's just so amazing.
So I think the surprise has been just that there are so many animals, and they're all cohabitating together peacefully and beautifully. And so I think that humans, we need to have this footprint stay as small as it can on these islands to preserve this beauty and serenity. And again, it's really wonderful that the island, it's kept this way, and there's so many protections for the animals so that they can live peacefully knowing people aren't going to do something to them. This is probably the best vacation I've ever taken, and I've traveled a lot of places in the world, but this is something everybody should do. It was a bucket list for me. So I've read about the Galapagos and National Geographic since I was, 5 years old. And so it's always been a place I wanted to go, and it's surpassed my expectations, definitely.
My name's Rich Reed, and I'm a National Geographic photographer, and I'm here in the Galapagos. Today we visited Puerto Ayora, and I was quite surprised to see how vibrant this community was. This week we have the benefit of having 4 photographers on board. Each group gets to work with an individual photographer. Each of us have our own specialty as well. One of my favorite types of photography is time-lapse, and time-lapse is a sequential shooting of images. And what I've found here is some great opportunities to photograph the fish market today. Tonight we're filming the volleyball tournament, or what they call volleyball in the Galapagos. The partnership between Lindblad and National Geographic has been successful. Since 2005, these 2 companies have merged and created this great opportunity to travel the world and travel with some of the experts that really know the places. Lindblad provide the vehicle and they provide the wonderful guides, and National Geographic has provided the name and some of the experts to combine their talents in order to create these special trips that I don't think anywhere else in the world you can experience. So this is a really good sense of place now that it's far enough away. The giant Galapagos tortoise was a highlight of Puerto Ayora and Santa Cruz Island. We got to get very close to them today and see them in their natural environment. And I think this was very special, especially for our younger explorers that were mesmerized by how big these tortoises were and how close they were. It was truly a great experience.
This afternoon, we have come to visit the western side of Santiago Island, a place known as Puerto Egas, the southern tip of James Bay. It's a remarkable coastline made up of lava flow, layers of ash on top, sandy beaches, goes from organic white all the way to inorganic black. And all the way we have Sally Lightfoot crabs, Galapagos sea lions. One of the top predators here in the Galapagos Islands are great blue herons. They live along the coastlines, feeding on not just Sally Lightfoot crabs, but anything of the right size. So that could be hatchling marine iguanas, snakes, finches, birds, warblers, anything and everything that they can possibly grab. Pretty omnivorous, they'll go for it all, and really quite regal.
I think so far the trip for me can only be described as life-changing. I've seen so much nature. I mean, I thought I knew how big nature was, but then I came to Galapagos and suddenly there was a whole lot more of it than I expected. And it's everywhere, and it's alive, and it's wonderful, it's beautiful, it comes at you from every corner, and the beauty never stops coming.